And we're back. Hi, my name's Charles, and not long ago I decided it might be fun to go back to the beginning of Honkai Star Rail and play the story again. And last episode, we killed the deer. We had a little fake fight against the deer where we failed, and then we ran around and we killed all of the little roots that were healing it, and then we went back and killed the deer. And that led us to the door between the Artisanship Commission, which is where we currently are, with a big-ass tree in front of us, and the Alchemy Commission, which is where we are to go next. And this leads us to kind of an interesting spot in the game, because if, like me, you played this pretty much since day one at the beginning, and you rushed through the story because you were having so much fun. Well, not rushed, you just spent an enormous amount of time playing the game. You actually sort of devoured the content. Then, the first time going through Honkai Star Rail, you got up to here, and there were 2 whole patches between you finishing this and the continuation of the main plot. So, Honkai Star Rail 1.0 launched with all of Herta Space Station, all of Belobog, and then up to this point in the Xianzhou Fu. And then, for the next patch, we had a sequence of companion missions and some events, and it wasn't until 1.2 that we actually went through this door and explored the Alchemy Commission. And people like playing the game from the beginning now don't get that experience of the long delay in the middle of this story, which I think is kind of partly where, you know, some of the complaints about, well, some of the original complaints about the pacing of the Luofu came from, in that it was actually badly paced because there was a whole ass 2-patch delay in the middle. But we're also going back to talking about the story of the Xianzhou Luofu. So there's really 2 stories that go along in the Luofu. There's the story that the Astral Express crew go through, where we are lured to this place by Kafka and her stories of the Stellaron. We are sent to apprehend Kafka. She tells us this was all part of her plan, and the tree grows, and we get sent to basically help with this an invasion of the abundance, and eventually, next patch, sort out that abundance invasion. But there's also the second story of the Luofu, which is the backstory. So what the Luofu is really about is it's the story of the... I've forgotten the name. The 5. It's a story of Jing Yuan and Dan Heng, or previously Dan Feng, and Bai Heng, and Blade, and Jing Liu. And there, what you are doing is you are coming in the present day, and through your actions during the present day, you uncover this terrible tale from the past that has caused us and these characters to end up in the place they are today. And this is another place where people start criticizing the Luofu's storytelling. I personally like this style of storytelling. It's like a common trope, like in a lot of movies or plays where you start off in, like, everyone has come back for, you know, a family reunion, or, you know, a school reunion or something, and the interactions that these characters have in the present day reveal the secrets and the conflicts that they had in the past. And I kind of quite like that, but I understand why that style of storytelling is not everyone's cup of tea. But what this long ramble is getting to is that I'm not just going to rush through this door. First off, I have at least one quest left over from the previous chain, which is the second half of the quest chain that was excised from the main story because it was considered a little bit too much of a speed bump in the pacing of the main story. So I've got to go back and uncover the plot behind Xianzhou and the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus and their draft of immortality. But also, because a lot of the backstory of this particular event was told in companion missions, and these companion missions have now been opened to me, then I have A Night Stranger, which is the story of Locha and what he is doing, which will become relevant as we do more stories later. And also, not showing up here, because I haven't quite triggered it yet, the story of Jingliu's arrival on the space station, or on the Luofu, and her meeting with Yanqing, which also forms part of this larger narrative of the reuniting of these the High Cloud Quintet, and the uncovering of their backstory. So what I'm going to do is, this episode I'm going to go through the Sinners Misled, Credence Falsified, which probably will fill up most of the plot. And then, if I have any time left, I'll probably launch into Jingliu and Yanqing's story. And then I will finish it off with Locha's story. And then once I've done that trio of quest lines, I will then hopefully be ready to move on to what is essentially the patch after those stories, with the full group of backstory that players were expected to have absorbed before they got to that point in the game. So, without further ado, let's jump and see what Xianzhou has to tell us.
It's still early. Where to now?
And we're back in front of the tree.
Ah, you're back. From the sound of your stride, I sense you're in good spirits.
I just killed a big deer. You got that right.
Many who undertake the far-reaching journey to the Xianzhou are weighed down by a heavy heart and exhaustion. But your steps are bold and steady, a stride worthy of a nameless. Let's get down to business. I analyzed the prescription you procured, the draft of Draconic Surge. Now that I have a preliminary conclusion, it needs to be delivered to the seat of Divine Foresight.
What is the conclusion?
The conclusion? Put simply, I don't believe that the draft of Draconic Surge holds the cure to the Mara. Even in the foreseeable future, there will likely not be any such cure. I've compiled the details into a written analysis. If you're interested, feel free to take a look.
I will do so.
This is a copy of pharmacological studies on the draft of Draconic Surge. If the Chief Counselor wants to see it urgently, I'll have to ask you to deliver it for me.
It's annoying that I can't read it from this screen. Let's go and I guess let's have a look at it. We can go into our phone and the bookshelf, and you can see that I just really haven't read anything on this list. And it's in here, I think. If we go down, pharmacological studies on the draft of Draconic Surge. Before we talk about the pharmacology behind the draft of Draconic Surge, we must step back a little and discuss the principles behind longevity. For most creatures of flesh and blood in the cosmos, longevity often is an indicator of something else. Cancer. It describes cells proliferating beyond their designated lifespan and order, becoming immortal and eating away at the host's body until both perish. In fact, after tens of thousands of years of competition, as well as trial and error, some cancerous cells have mutated to be capable of living independently of a host, and can even corrode other creatures with their longevity. Year 7142 of the star calendar saw a serious plague erupting on the planet of Yaguret, which was under the Intelligentsia Guild's rule. It was later discovered that the vector was a type of cancer cell originating from a creature of the Anthosus subphylum, and had gained the capacity to cross the species barrier due to a chance mutation. From a purely medical standpoint, us long-life species are entirely composed of immortal cells, yet we maintain an equilibrium within our bodies. This is quite an impossible feat. Put simply, the secret of the Xianzhou natives and Foxians is that our cells can shift as needed between differentiated cells and stem cells. The conversion obeys specific rules that will never create a single error. The rule dictating this conversion is the ultimate secret among secrets. It is not set according to internal hormonal levels or any other parameters, but a standard set in stone the moment the individual was born. As the cells shift between differentiation and omnipotence, the person's bodily characteristics are forever set to their original standard. We call this phenomenon, which goes against the fundamental creed of biology, as the miracle of the plague's author. At a certain critical point of the long-life species' life cycle, this power from the plague's author will suddenly enter a new stage, the original standard will be overwritten, and the body will start to develop catastrophically, turning a civilized human into a mindless abomination. This is what we commonly call Mara-struck. It is commonly thought that the source of Vidyadhara immortality is different from that of Xianzhou natives and Foxians. The Vidyadhara race did not gain immortality from the plague's author. Instead, as the descendants of Long the Dragon, the majesty of permanence flows in their blood. Due to this unique characteristic, Vidyadhara also exhibit a life cycle different from other long-life species, their life consisting of reverting from maturity to an infantile stage in an unending cycle relies on continuous cellular transdifferentiation. This is the reason why Vidyadhara do not face the ailments of immortality that many other long-life species have to contend with. The core principle of the draft of Draconic Surge is to transfer this draconic power into a different organism. Dayu Angelica, Frost Mulberry, and Lunarescent Sea Cucumber, all these ingredients have only one core purpose, which is to maintain and reanimate the stem cells within the Vidyadhara bone marrow, allowing it to function within the host after the injection. For long-life species, this medication can trigger Mara in a more controlled manner, making their bodily organs go out of control in a more controlled manner under the dragon's guidance, instead of growing haphazardly with the plague's author's power. The host would then gain power only available to the Mara-struck, while retaining their sanity. As for short-life species, this medication would forcibly graft the power of the dragons into their body. This brutal transplantation will cause a rapid elevation of bodily capacities for a short duration, significantly improving the short-life species' fragile physiologies. However, since the cells from long scions have all perished to the host's immune system, the host's physiology will suffer a catastrophic regression. The only thing that can suppress or revert such a decline might be the other miracle drugs developed by the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As stated above, though the seat of divine foresight tasked me to analyze the pharmacology of this medicine with the likely goal of preparing an antidote, no antidote can possibly exist for the draft of Draconic Surge. The core of this medication's pharmacology is to manually trigger Mara in people using the power of dragons. If we can prepare an antidote for such a medication, then being stricken with Mara will no longer be a fatal condition. Dan Shu. So basically this thing just, kicks off Mara in the subjects, and we've kind of worked out that's the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus' gig. Also, it just kind of made me think about the immortality of the Vidyadhara, where, what really is immortality in that particular in that particular system. Like, if your version of immortality is that you essentially die and then are reborn, and you're kind of yourself, but you are different physically, you don't have your memories, you're a different person, except like in very few circumstances, like like Dan Heng and the lineage of the High Elders. Is that really that distinct from giving birth and dying? Is it really immortality? It isn't really. I mean, immortality isn't just the extension of, a particular set of matter through multiple life cycles. It's, the extension of identity and memory. And the extension of identity and memory is what triggers Mara and makes you turn into a monster eventually. So, none of the species have really solved any of this.
Would you like me to relay your message?
I have a feeling I'm going to be talking a lot during this episode. Maybe I won't read out any more really long documents, though.
You're back. Anything you wanted to share?
The prescription from the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus.
Wow. Even for those alchemists, that was fast.
It was Xianzhou who figured it out.
Xianzhou? Wait, why would the Alchemy Commission's chief alchemist be away from her post?
Have you seen the Alchemy Commission lately?
I've heard that the chief alchemist is visually impaired. She rarely leaves the Alchemy Commission delve. She has a vast knowledge and expertise. No wonder she was able to analyze the pharmacology so quickly. Let me see her report. No cure? Where did these villains get their hands on such a complex prescription? This is infuriating. Still, this is a clue we can follow. Thank you. Please accept these gifts for your efforts.
Ooh, quest rewards. You've already rewarded me. You're being too polite. Oh, thank you.
Please, take them. You've done so much for the Lafu, for the Xianzhou. This is the least I could do.
I think generally if someone offers you a reward for something you've just done, then the polite thing is to take it. Like, being bashful and trying to refuse is just going to make it awkward for everybody. Xianzhou, Cullfish, have you some time? There are some issues with which I could like your expertise. Can you drop by the Signwood Pavilion for a spell? Wait, I'm coming over. At your earliest convenience would be best. So I've been resummoned by Xianzhou to continue the quest line.
Came up from Starskiff Haven.
I keep wanting to press space and jumping, even after all this time.
Thank you for coming on such short notice.
What can I help you with?
My stay in Exalting Sanctum was supposed to be focused on treating people and delivering medicine. But the Seat of Divine Foresight tasked me with analyzing the prescription. I've been severely delayed. I've already concocted some of the medicine in question, but there can't be any further delays. Could you assist me in ensuring it arrives on time?
No problem.
Thank you. The patient in question is a little girl. If she's gotten into any trouble, be sure to let me know when you get back. This is the medicine. Her house is near the Court of Tranquility. It shouldn't be hard to find her.
On my way. A medicine concocted by Xianzhou. Its sweet smell is probably deliberate, made to entice the child to take their medicine properly.
came up from Starskiff.
Aha, she's over here.
Is this the one Dan Shu sent me to find? Does she come here to treat other sightless people?
Aw, little Miss Lady can't see ahead, can't see right, can't see left. Heads to the east, ends up west. She's stuck. She can't get down.
Hey, what you looking at, Outworlder? Mind your own business.
So cocky, huh? I'm gonna kick all your asses because I'm a grown-up.
Who do you think you are? Keep your nose out of this. I beat people up all the time.
Yeah, get lost. Stop meddling in our business.
You kids are a piece of work. Look, he started it. He hit me.
Boss!
Stop yelling and help me up already.
They used some kind of hidden power. I saw it. You're a cheater.
That's right. If you hadn't cheated, I would have knocked your lights out.
Let me introduce you to this thing I have. It's called a baseball bat. No, I should not be beating up small children, even if they are bullies, but, you know, it is a funny situation.
You sure about that, boss? They didn't even flinch. Ugh, shut up! Boss, let's get out of here. We shouldn't fight anyone that doesn't respect martial arts.
I'll let you off the hook this time. Next time we fight fair and square.
Yeah!
The three children flee from the scene while disgruntled. You take the chance to lead the girl away from this site of conflict.
Thank you for helping me, mister.
Are you okay?
Okay. It's my fault. I shouldn't have wandered off on my own. Then I wouldn't have run into those guys.
Those guys were dicks.
They always laugh at me for being blind. And they like to trip me up and steal my things. Thank goodness you were here. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let me off so easily.
Dan Shu wants me to deliver this medication to you.
Oh, Don Shu asked you to come? Things are bad on Olafu recently. Don Shu must be very busy. Thank you, mister. Remember to thank her for me.
Will do. The little girl takes the medicine and returns the way she came.
Why does she wander about alone? Well, I've delivered the medicine.
I guess just, you know, an insight into this isn't, you know, a paradise full of all well-meaning people. You know, mean kids are still gonna be mean kids.
How was she? Did you deliver the medicine?
You describe what happened to Dan Shu.
She reminds me of myself when I was a child. I also had to find my way in the dark, face obstacles I couldn't predict, as well as deal with unconscious prejudices people had against me. If I was ever injured by bullies or after a fall, I'd run crying to the healers at the Alchemy Commission and ask them to heal me. I suppose that's why I followed in their footsteps, to pay a little kindness forward. Thank you for looking after the child. Could I ask you for another favor, friend?
Are you worried about her?
Yes. I worry about her wandering around on her own. And I want to know what's been on her mind lately. Her parents passed away in the Denizens of Abundance Wars, The relatives who took her in aren't close to her. And whenever I treat her, she often confides in me. A healer's medicine might remedy one's physical health, but sometimes the loneliness and hurt inside one's heart needs companionship and care to heal.
She might have wandered far.
She told me that whenever she's feeling troubled, she finds a quiet corner in the Artisanship Commission and just sits there, letting the sounds wash over her.
Ah, the Artisanship Commission. A totally safe place to be right now.
Her parents used to be artisans in the commission, so I think she has some nostalgic connection to the place. In all likelihood, that's where she'll be. There's danger around every corner these days, especially for a sightless child. Let's go.
Let's go. So let's make our way to the Artisanship Commission. We want to pop up here closest to where... Actually, let's go here. So we can just travel straight north. Another interesting thing that has happened since my last outing is that I hit Equilibrium level 4, which means I am now Trailblaze level 51, which means that everything has gone up a level. So I've managed to get a couple of characters up to level 70, but this is the point in the game where leveling characters up starts to get, you know, kind of expensive. So, like, ascending a character from, you know, being capped at level 60 to being able to get to level 70 requires 4 caverns worth of materials or like half a day of fuel, and actually leveling them from 60 to 70 is another 1 1/4 days of fuel, and that's before we've factored in leveling up light cones and improving traces and, you know, finally getting decent gear for them. So this is kind of the point where you start having to be a little bit more deliberate about, you know, what order you level people up in and how. And I've obviously, you know, picked Trailblazer, Welt, and March to start off with because, you know, they are the core of my current adventuring team. But, yeah, it's just one of the... I almost considered not doing the Equilibrium trial just so I could stick at level 60 forever. But, you know, I wanted to progress in other things in the game. I want to do different simulated universes and all. Oh, I've got the wrong team. Oh no, I'm cheating right now. Good thing I discovered this before we did anything plot relevant.
Target threat in annihilate. What are
Natasha and Clara doing on the Xianzhou Lofu? This is not somewhere either of them are supposed to be.
Lance ablaze! Lance! Forward!
Hide.
Welcome, customers. Everyone, tell me, Mr. Sora. Naughty child, nap time.
Okay. So yeah, I was doing a little bit of farming in Divergent Universe so that I could, you know, get a few more jades, because the patch day is tomorrow and I may want to roll for Fugue. But that meant I had the wrong team on deck, so I'm going to go and put the correct team on deck and pretend that did not happen.
What?
Oh, Trotter. Yes, also means that I may embarrassingly not be able to get trotters, for example. Because,
Fight as one!
You know nothing.
I've gone from being woefully overpowered to being, you know, pretty mid for this particular level range. So we shall see.
This awesome move!
It's time. Hit! Go.
Welcome, customers. You can't run!
Lance at the ready.
But I think I should be okay because I've just, you know, the power of having both Welt and March on the team means that you can delay your enemies by so much. That's almost as good as killing them.
What's happening? Is the girl in trouble?
Oh. She's surrounded by Ingenium.
Leave it to me. Go. You know nothing of survive or be destroyed. There is no way.
And let's just knock them
Seize the moment.
a long way down to like 134 action value.
I'm on guard. Hit!
Let's be friends.
Everything's okay now, Xiaoyu.
Thank you, big brother. Thank you, Honshu.
You don't need to be scared anymore. He is here.
I'm your savior.
When I think about all the trouble I've caused you two, I feel like such a burden. I'm sorry.
Is that why you're crying? Maybe you should start getting used to this feeling. Because in the next few centuries, visually impaired people like us will continue to require help from everyone we meet.
Okay, to me this just feels like a serious indictment of the culture of the Xianzhou Lofu. Like, the idea that they have this, like, super advanced melding of technology and magic society, and yet being sightless in this community, like, it A, ostracizes you, and B, is still such a substantial disadvantage that Danshu is obviously, you know, still carrying a chip on her shoulder about it after all this time. And obviously, you know, you can't blame Danshu for this, it just seems to be a big problem with the society itself. Like, there's a really good Philosophy Tube video from a while back where she talked about the philosophy of disability, where one way of looking at disability is that it's something wrong with the person who has the disability, like this person, you know, is sightless, or, you know, this person needs a wheelchair to get around, and this locates the problem in the body of the disabled person, and this is a really convenient way of looking at things if you are, you know, able-bodied, because you can look at the disabled person and say, this is a problem that exists within you, this is your problem. But another way of looking at disability is that a disability is something about you that the world around you has not adapted for. So it is not necessarily the problem that you are unsighted, it is a problem that the world around you has been designed for people who can see. It's not a problem that you need a wheelchair to get around. It's the problem is that things around you in the world have not been built in such a way as it is convenient to get through in a wheelchair. And this locates the problem not in the disabled person, but in the absence of accommodations for the ways in which people are different. And the fact that, you know, we are on this supposedly advanced magic technological society, and it does not cater for, it does not have sufficient affordances for people who are unsighted. There's no, like, seeing eye psychrane that could be guiding this kid around and telling her what's going on around her, is a deficiency in the society itself. But anyway, let's keep going on. I said I'd be talking too much during this episode.
So, if a little bit of guilt like this is enough to break your heart, then how will you manage such an arduous path?
Is this supposed to be comforting?
I'm not trying to console her. This is the reality.
And of course we also have to account for the fact that Xianzhou is not a good person and, you know, could be, you know, externalizing bitterness for other reasons, but still.
Walking alone in the darkness, fearing every incoming, invisible obstacle, unable to understand other people's descriptions. Everyone, everything is like a hot coal in the dark. Invisible, yet still able to burn you. As a long-life species, she can expect life to continue like this for nearly 1,000 years. She must learn to depend upon herself rather than just foolishly waiting around for the next hero to swoop in and save her.
So, I think that this is the wrong answer, because we shouldn't need to set it up so that people keep having to swoop in and save her. We, again, as I was saying before, but aren't you helping to save her? I mean, can't we find some way to set her up as, you know, living independently?
Yes. By trying my best to change her personal circumstances.
I mean, you seem to have managed to do okay in, you know, becoming one of the most respected alchemists and so on.
In the meantime, she'll have to learn to withstand the darkness. Just as I have.
Hey, you're right, Xianzhou. From now on, I'll do my best to rely on myself.
Good. I hope you remember that this place is too dangerous. Let's head back to Exalting Sanctum.
You send Xianzhou and the little girl back.
Thank you again for all you've done. It would seem we incomplete ones are often bullied from a tender age. I endured numerous hardships to become chief alchemist. Yet, there are still things that leave me feeling helpless. That's the reason I said what I said. You might mistake my words for being hurtful. But the truth is, no amount of words can prepare her for what lies ahead.
Does the Xianzhou have the technology to help with such impairments?
Long-life species, these things are permanent. Whether we are beautiful or ugly, tall or short, wise or foolish, all of it is encoded into our flesh from the moment we are born. The impairments of short-life species can be corrected with ingenia or surgery. But that's an impossibility for Xianzhou natives. No matter the method employed, our bodies will eventually return to their original states.
See, again, the idea of the disability being a thing that is located in the body rather than the society that makes that body disadvantaged within the society, and if it's unfixable medically because of the way the long life species worked, surely that's more of a burden on... Anyway, I'm repeating myself at this point.
I too was once an unbeliever. I fooled myself into acquiring artificial eye implants. Soon thereafter, my sightless eyes began to regenerate, and I was left in pain and despair. That brief window of sight that I regained has turned into a perpetual source of anguish, forever etched into my mind. For long-life species, this incompleteness is a permanent, unavoidable tenance. What a joke. Even the denizens of abundance, so-called abominations, needn't endure such torture. Perhaps we incomplete ones are merely traitors, cursed by the plague's author.
What do you mean?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything. Thank you for sticking with me through all of this. I think my aspirations in exalting sanctum have been met, for now. Oh, I have a gift for you. Though I'll need a little time to prepare it. I'll contact you once it's ready to collect. See you soon, friend.
See you soon, Danshu.
That tree remained dead for thousands of years.
So she's busy, so it's time to check out the bookshop.
Have you read the novel about the Ten Lords' Commission?
This is a bookstore. If you want to read or pick out a book, just go in and browse around. Call me when you want to pay. I can't go in and browse around. You're behind a counter. Got anything you can recommend? I don't really read that much, so I can't really recommend anything. Well, the front of the shop is where we keep our bestsellers. There's got to be a reason why they're bestsellers. Why not start there? Views of the Universe from a Starskiff is a record of wondrous exoplanets by a Foxian explorer. Oh, you're from an exoplanet anyways. In that case, hang on and let me think. How about this one here? Otherworldly Delights. It's a collection of short supernatural stories written by the boss here. I'm a relative of the owner. He likes listening to other people's conversations, saying that it's good inspiration as an author. You may have seen him over in Starskiff Haven. He does storytelling in some tea house called Sleepless Earl or other, calling himself something like Mr. Xian. I may have met him in Starskiff Haven. He liked getting attention. I'd be truly surprised if you haven't seen him. How I wish he could pay a little more attention to his bookstore business. Oh well, have you got any books here you'd like to buy? I'd like to read some books to pass the time to advance my quest.
Oh, go right ahead. Mr. C.N. said that making bookworms feel at home is more important than getting them to buy something.
And suddenly it's voiced, which means we're back on a quest.
All we ask is that you find a quiet spot away from the browsing areas.
You pick up a book that has recently gotten popular across the Alliance. Time passes quickly. And I get a text message in the middle of reading a book. I'm busy. Cullfish, I have prepared the present of which I have mentioned. Come over to the Sinward Pavilion. I wish to entrust you with it in person. Coming. Coming. Do not worry. I will be there awaiting your presence.
Ah, looks like the person you were waiting for has gotten in touch. Safe travels. Oh, maybe buy a book next time?
Maybe I should buy a book.
Buying a book? Which one do you need? I'll help you find it.
There's a lot of books here. A martial arts novel that stopped updating 300 years ago. One day I'll read that, but not right now. Who am I kidding? I probably won't read that. I think at some point I went through on my other account and just emptied that store of books. Probably because there's an achievement in having lots of books. Anyway, gotta go back and talk to Xianzhou.
That true.
There you are, friend.
Here I am.
You've been running so many errands lately. I'd like for you to take some useful items away with you.
Jades?
Examining the exhibits in the Seat of Divine Foresight inspired me to create this. I referenced some historical texts and concocted a medicine that can extend your lifespan and improve your health. I call it the Broomdew Concentrate Pellet. And I'd like you to have it. Consuming it will make your body light, agile, and promote longevity and well-being. As a nameless, it'll make your journey a much less arduous one. Well then, that's that. I've still got some other business to attend to, so shall we say goodbye for now? Perhaps the next time we meet, I'll be able to see you in the true sense of the word.
I thought. Xianzhou placed the box with the pellet on the table. You glance at it. Okay, the stupidest thing to do right now is just to eat the pellet. So that is what the MC will do.
Tastes a bit strange, but no adverse reactions so far. Wait a minute. Ugh, my head. What's happening? Something's wrong. I'm burning up. Feels like I can't breathe. Seems to be calming down a bit, but still uncomfortable. This doesn't seem right. I'd better talk to Xianzhou at the Seat of Divine Foresight.
Yeah, I've just taken some weird drugs. It's time to find out what I took. When you take the pill and those, like, branches go into your peripheral vision, you've taken the weird drugs.
Would you like me to relay your message?
No, I just want to go in.
There goes my head again. Is Xianzhou sure this broomdew is safe for consumption?
No, it's not.
Isn't this the Seat of Divine Foresight? Why are there so many Mara struck here?
Kill them. Kill them all.
No, I can't let them get near me.
They must die.
Stay calm.
Can we talk?
Merciful Medicus!
Welcome, customers. My turn.
Alright, so I'll put that on you. We have one, so periphery are fire weak. If we do this, and then we do this,
You know nothing of the weight. Survive, or
and then we
There's no other choice.
refresh some of your ultimate.
1,000 wonders to ring. Fight as one.
And you've almost got it again. So you can hit that guy. You can hit that guy.
I'm on guard.
You can hit that guy.
Gotta try hard. Watch this awesome move.
Let's begin.
Try that again.
And we just managed to get him the little moment before
Welcome,
he self-healed. So that to me was success.
Told you I could fight.
But yeah, anyway, so this is things have got slightly more difficult
Lance! Forward!
because I took the equilibrium level up. But it still seems to be at least doable with the otherwise quite, scuffed team of not having any healers.
Tough luck running into me! Here!
Lance at the ready.
Leave it to me.
Try that again!
A miracle!
You can't run!
The other thing is, I am 25 Strail away from the MC's next Eidolon, which is really quite frustrating.
What happened to you? Careful! Don't hurt him! Hey! Wake up! Are you okay?
I'm a bit dizzy.
Stars! You're finally awake. I thought we might lose you. I was so worried.
I took the brown acid, man.
You came into the seat of divine foresight and started brandishing your weapon.
I hope my pants stayed on.
It looked like you'd lost control. As if you'd been stricken with Mara. There has to be something awry. Tell me what happened to you before arriving at the seat of divine foresight.
You recount everything that happened between you and Xianzhou to Xianzhou.
From what you're saying, it seems like the gift she gave to you must be related to the disciple's prescription we examined earlier. But the
Just a
healer
prank.
who examined you just now said your body doesn't seem to have been affected. How strange.
I do have a Stellaron in me.
Could Shu be playing a trick on you? Or is her medicine somehow not working as planned? My advice is to come back later for another examination. It's a Disciples of Sanctus Medicus prescription after all. Who knows what healing effects it may have. I'll put out a wanted notice for Shu immediately. If you find any trace of her, get in touch with me. Take this D-Ting with you. It might just help you find this friend.
So we're going to be searching for her, but here's a tracking dog. You find her first, and we'll turn a blind eye after you deal with the person who just poisoned the shit out of you. So let's find them.
That tree.
Shu isn't here. Where could she be? I've got it. Shu's medicine box has her scent on it. I'll ask the D-Ting that Xianzhou lent me to track her.
The D-Ting follows Shu's scent and leads you to the Artisanship Commission.
Time to come out, little D-Ting. I need you to help me find Shu.
Aha, it's down here. It is a green rather than a purple scent.
Will of preservation!
Oh, and I hit the wrong button.
That's Shu.
That's...
With a group of disciples? I guess that tells me all I need to know.
Master, stand back. Let me handle this.
Stand down. He's a friend.
Not for long.
Many of our brethren have fallen by his hands.
You tried to poison me.
Yes, I am aware.
What?
I said he's my friend. Leave us.
Yes, Master.
I didn't expect you to come looking for me.
They call you Master. You lied to me.
I lied to you about many things. But I reserve my apology only for deceiving you into taking the medicine. As for the other falsehoods, they were merely in aid of communicating as equals. Did you ingest the Broomdew concentrate pellet I gave you?
What kind of medicine is it exactly?
Which the elixir seekers that arrive on the Xianzhou dream of. The formula to immortality. To take it is to initiate the transformation from a short-lived species into a Xianzhou person or an abomination. depending on your perception. Please believe me when I say that never once have I thought about harming you. I merely wanted to offer you the chance to obtain immortality and freedom.
But, you know, consent is important here. Informed consent.
Friend, please. I urge you to leave the Luofu. Abandon this struggle. The truth isn't what it appears to be. What did the minions at the seat of divine foresight tell you about this conflict? That the Rainbow Arbiter is the emissary of the righteous? That the Arbiter is chasing the heathen plague's author across the stars, while the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus abet their heresy? Do you really think that is the case? You don't understand Merciful Medicus, nor the devilish archer author, but you understand me. Do you see me as such? A heretic. I do not ask for you to pick a side. I just wish for you to leave the Luofu, to leave this all behind. This isn't your fight, and I do not wish to make an enemy of you.
Look, I'm sorry, but you tried to poison me. You tried to turn me into a Mara Struck, and the only reason it didn't work is because I've got a goddamn Stellaron inside me. So, I'm taking you in. Like, the battles between the Eons, none of the Eons have clean hands. I don't think Lan is, you know, a great, you know, paragon of goodness. I don't have, at this point, enough experience of Yasha to know whether they are good or evil. I've seen that, you know, their gift is also a curse, and it turns people into these Mara-struck abominations that just want to kill people. But, you know, whether that's part of Yasha's plan, whether it's a corruption of Yasha's plan, you know, I don't necessarily know. But you tried to fucking poison me, so I'm gonna take you in.
Most unfortunate. Had you known me first, perhaps we could have been good friends.
We were, up to the point you tried to poison me.
Master, we should leave now.
I sincerely wish that this will be our last meeting. Farewell, Nameless.
Farewell, don't you? March, shoot her.
Leave it to me. You know nothing of survive or be destroyed. There is no other choice.
Seize the moment.
Oops, wrong order. Doesn't matter.
Fight as one. Tough luck running into me.
Lance ablaze. Lance! Forward!
Gotta try hard some. Watch this awesome move.
So we just kill these guys.
Let's begin. You know nothing of the survive or be destroyed. There is no other choice.
Just want to kill these ads before they get their debuff on us and upset us too much.
Welcome,
Betting that at least one of those bounces went over to him. Did.
Told you I could fight.
Oops, should have re-upped her buff. Oh well, doesn't make too much of a difference.
I'm on guard.
I'm fine.
On your march. Killing blow.
I'd better report my findings to Xianzhou at the seat of divine foresight.
Yeah, I'd better. Just in case. So, oh. Wait up, what's up those stairs? I'm gonna go slightly long in this episode, so I may as well check out what's up these stairs that I missed. There's this bit. Okay, so that goes up there. I see, there's a puzzle here, and then there's this stuff around here that I haven't seen yet. So I will come back here later. For now, I will return to the seat of divine foresight and give my report.
How did it go? Did you manage to locate Don Shu?
You can say that. You interrupt Xianzhou and report to her everything that happened at the Artisanship Commission.
So you weren't able to apprehend her. I see. These people have been in hiding for so long. They must have a more nefarious plan. I've got to apprehend them quickly. Once again, thank you for all your help. With your intel, we will put a stop to Don Shu.
Good luck.
Jing Yuan tells me you'll be joining the forces led by the Alchemy Commission and Master Diviner. I won't take up any more of your time. Please, take good care of your... If you run into Don Shu again, contact the nearest Cloud Knights.
Oh, I think I will take the law into my own hands there.
Take this as a token of my appreciation. You deserve it.
Thank you. Stellar Jade, some Trailblaze XP, and we have finished that particular filler mission, which sort of introduces us to the tragedy of Dan Shu. Like, you know, she was kind of messed up by a society that treated her badly just because she has a disability, which, you know, sucks, but you probably shouldn't turn into a genocidal cultist as a result of that.
All of the finest quality.
But on the back of that, and I'm still haven't got, I got 0 trails out of that entire quest, so I'm still sitting here, and I just have, like, where's my next MC idol I'm coming from? Oh well, I'm just gonna stand on this bridge, and I'm gonna watch the star skiffs go by, and to look out over the horizon, and call it the end of an episode. So, thank you for joining me for this one. Next week we will probably do the Yanqing and Jingliu companion quest, because it's another one that is really important to set up the secondary plot of this entire sequence. And yeah, I will continue to just sort of vamp it out for a few more episodes before we continue into the Alchemy Commission. So thank you very much for spending your time with me, and I will see you again next time.